your environment, your family, preparing you and providing all the necessary outlets. What's that mean? For instance, being involved in sports, being involved in, you know, opening yourself to, you know, having friends outside your, just your, you know, your comfort zone. So I think all that plays an important role in setting you up for your future. So I wouldn't limit it to just high school and college. I'd start.
So you're saying that we're constantly developing, becoming. Now I want to direct a question to you that many students decide on a career path during high school, right? And it's either being advised by a counselor, and then they seem to change that once they reach college. Do you feel it's because they see how hard the subject matter is, or they find lack of interest? And if so, if it is a lack of interest, can it still be studied?
I think when you're in high school, people tend to forget that you're still being prepared. High school is all about preparing you for adulthood, right? And it's about making the transition into whether be it a career, a vocational field, or going into college. Not everyone is college bound. Let's remember that. So some people are just going to enter the workforce, be it, you know, become a business, you know, entrepreneur. Let's face it, being out of, you know, that's something that's already imprinted in our DNA. Right?
Entrepreneur.
Yeah, opening up a business. And so it's more or less the fact that people in high school are looking more at the money sign, and they're looking more at, you know, stability, because our parents are very keen on ensuring that we have some type of goal, or at least beginning to think about those goals. Do I think you have to be hard set on those goals? No, I don't think in high school you should. I think it's not until you get into the college field or wherever field that you're going in and really developing your experiences. You may realize, hey, you know what, this isn't for me. I know a lot of friends who went into the medical field because of their parents. Their parents told them, you know what, sir doctor, become doctor, you know? And it's because the parents obviously weren't afforded the same opportunities that we are, you know? They either left the home country and they came here in hopes that you and I would have more of an opportunity. But keeping in mind that if you don't understand or don't care or don't have that desire for the respected field, be it in medicine, teaching, whatever it may be, attorney, you know, law, then you're not going to succeed because you're not personally invested in that. So I think it plays an important role. If you don't have the desire or you don't have the passion for whatever field you're going into, you won't enjoy it and you won't be successful.
Now you mentioned how our parents are enforcing us to, and this is what I call a security field, where they tell us, be a lawyer, be a doctor, be an engineer, go after those careers that have that money talks. And a lot of students, like you said, will pursue it, and then a lot of students go to college. They know, okay, the next 4 years I'm going to be secure. This is what I'm doing the next 4 years. I'm going to do my internships, my co-ops, my job on the side. And then they have this confidence, and then they go, after graduation, they go pursue their career, and then the success is not there. And sometimes it's because they can't find a job, and sometimes their motives are not as high. So where do you see the flaw with that?
I don't see any flaw whatsoever in that parents have these concerns. I don't blame them. You have to keep in mind the mindset of our parents. They were not afforded the same opportunities that we were. So they're going to be more keen on ensuring that you follow some type of you know, avenue that will lead you to not just academic success, but, you know, in your field of whatever that may be, your respected field. So you're right, they tend to focus more on engineering, being doctors. I mean, the medicine is like key, right? And we all know that there's the security net there. There's that safety net. And that's what they want. They want to ensure that, hey, we left the old country, you know, we struggled to get you here, you know, give us back our investment by ensuring that you have, you know, something stable. Give us stability.
Now, what do you advise? Would you advise somebody to go to work and work for the income that they make, or go to work and make less of an income but enjoy what they do?
You know what? That's a very difficult question to ask, because the question in itself is a bit, you know, it could be misconstrued. What makes you think that whatever you go into is going to be an income that's less than what it can be? I believe that, first of all, the ends don't justify the means, right?
Right.
So putting that aside, if you're really good at something, you'll make money at it. Let's face it, right? Not everyone can open up a business.
Right.
So if you're good at business, you're going to succeed in business. If you're good in, you know, being an attorney, you're going to succeed in an attorney. Great example. I myself am a real estate agent as well. I know I have many hats, but not everyone, right? Not everyone can enter a specific field and claim success. I don't care if it was. It don't matter if it was being an attorney, medicine. If you're not good at that respected field, who's going to go see an attorney that loses every time?
Right. But there's loss in anything that you do. If you're a doctor, you know, you don't have the cure to cancer.
Yeah.
If you're a lawyer, you can't you can't be, like, defend a person that's killed someone.
Fair.
You can't, I mean, in anything that you do. But we're talking, like, in our community in general, our community is just known as, they just know to push business, chase the business aspect of it, because 90% of the businesses that I know that are run here are run by somebody that is foreign. Yeah. That is. I mean, if not all my friends, most of my friends are, they've won and they got their education, they've left that behind to go and open up a business where they're making more money than they would in that field. It's sad but true, but then again, you know, you get that education and you're like $120,000 in debt. You know, like, why should school cost so much to get an education, whereas when our families were back home, education was free. They didn't have to pay for anything. And I think that's what throws everything off. You know, there's so many, I have so many family members that are doctors. They didn't pay $1, not $1, to study and get the education that they have.
You're right, and that's and I agree with you on that, because some people will say, I don't need college. I can be this entrepreneur without anything. And that's great, and they succeed. And then you have those that go to college and they have all these student loans. But then again, it's up to their motives to become a successful person or be at the level that they want to be. And I think everybody has a level where they're satisfied if they want to take it up a notch or not. But I think it kind of goes both hand in hand. But how do you feel for those that don't? You said that not everybody is college bound.
Yeah, fair.
So a lot of people may look at that and say, what do you mean you can't study? They might look at you and be like, you're a failure. How do you feel about that?
Again, how do we measure success is the question. What do you measure as success? Now, we know, like, great example, I've recently been appointed as the executive director of the American Civil Rights League. At my age, you know, that's a pretty, you know, monumental area to be at.
Yeah.
My dad was like, great, so you still going to school? Dad, I graduated. Right. I graduated. What are you talking about? Good, but you're going for your doctorates, right? You're going for your master's.
Yeah.
Dad, chillax. I just, you know, I was on a 6-year plan. Unfortunately, I didn't have, you know, a plan. I didn't have guidance. So when you talk about the whole money issue, that's a whole separate discussion in itself. I mean, we can't even open that door. That's Bandora's box. Not Pandora, Bandora's box. So, but as far as your question goes, I think you're right. Not everyone needs to be college bound, but it's all about that safety net, you know.
Now, what advice would you give to those that have a mindset? They know what they want to do. They say, I don't need counseling. I don't need the advisor's guidance. And a lot of them do. You know, in college, a lot of my colleagues would be like, did you sign up for class? No, I still have to talk to so and so, and then some of them would be like, oh, I already signed it. I don't need to talk to nobody. I know what I'm going to do. I know how I'm going to direct myself. How do you advise students to seek guidance even if they're a little bit confident about themselves?
You can never, ever be so sure. So my advice is, if the service is there, use it. I mean, the biggest mistake you can make is do what I did. I was on a 6-year plan because I wasn't seeking guidance or I wasn't seeking a counselor. Thus, I took a whole bunch of courses that really didn't amount to anything. You know, why was I taking cooking 101? I mean,
yeah, that was in college.
You know what? I needed an extra, 3 credits and figured, yeah, throw it on there. But if you're not seeking guidance or not seeking a counselor, you're going to be taking a whole bunch of courses. You're going to be on my 6-year plan.
Okay.
So I strongly encourage to start early. Start, with whom? Your parents.
بدي أسألك كمان كيف شو بتفكر الموضوع كنا بنحكي مع أنجي about the fact that some students that want to leave out of state or out of town, how do you feel about شو بتفكر الهدول اللي بدهم يدرسوا بالجامعات that are far away from their parents?
يعني فهمان هالحكي و you need to keep in mind that we come from collective societies. Our family, the family is extremely important, right? لأنه our families, if there's an issue with one individual, we all get involved with that issue, and we help one another. That's an important, very important feature that allows us to be successful in other areas. So I don't see it as a limitation. عفوا ما تخزيني.
No, not at all.
When Angie was talking about her limitations of not being able to go outside of school, I saw it more as بالعكس, because you're not going to be in debt, paying for room. You're not going to be in debt paying for not having to worry about security or worrying about what you're going to eat. Right? Health and diet. We want the issue isn't necessarily, I don't trust you or I don't want you to leave. No, we want to ensure that you have all the qualities of home life while educating, and it plays an important role. It really does.
It is. I agree with you, but a lot. No. This is you. That's where I think you get the misunderstanding. It's about the girl in general. If I have friends that have gotten full rides to other colleges outside of the state, and their fathers were like, no, you're not going, not because I don't trust you or I don't feel like you're going to graduate and do something with your life. You're a girl and you belong at home. That's where it is. A lot of them, and it being, it's just our community. Like how you said, we're made in a community where it's love. And the love is like exceeded to the point where, like you can't even breathe, because how is a person supposed to like pursue anything or live their life or do what they love if the support system is not there? So it's not in every household. It's not about like paying for room and board, because that all comes down no matter what. If you're applying to that school, you know exactly what you're doing. But if there's opportunities like that presenting itself and you can't take them because I can't because I'm Chaldean or I'm Arabic.
That's haram though. That's haram. You just study
Arabic. Yeah.
Your friends كانوا بيدرسوا ونجحوا وفي عندهم scholarship, وبعدين their father would be like لا ما فيك تروحي ليش لازم تروحي تدرسي. بس إذا ما فيهم يروحوا يدرسوا, then they just wasted their strength in their studies. But how do you feel about maybe the lack of the success being because they go out of town or out of state, and maybe do you think that the social life kind of gets in their way of their studies?
I mean, that's not, being distracted and losing focus of what we hope to do, which is to, finish college and then go into our respective fields. But again, alluding back to Angie's, discussion, that's a whole different situation.
Yeah.
When I was talking about, why, I have many friends who went to a different state, who left, like I had friends who didn't even leave that far. They just, they lived in Dearborn and they went to Ann Arbor, right? And they came back running, like, oh my God, I miss my environment, I miss my home. Because let's face it, you're a product of your environment.
Absolutely.
And you really don't realize how lucky you are and how important the family is until you leave your family. I promise you.
Yeah.
I mean, like I had a friend who was just, he was in a dorm, and people like wrote their names on the eggs, and he was like, "Ahal daraja, really, really." You're writing your names on the eggs. I mean, and we're very hospitable, right? And so he would like buy like food, before he ordered food or stuff, he'd ask his roommates, "Hey, did you guys want pizza?" Like, sure, and And then when it was time, you know, for someone outside the culture, like, they wouldn't even consider. There's small little things that, you know, will drive me crazy. I'm not going to lie. But